YouTube! Gee, cool. It's your boy KvolioKlips back at it again with another episode of Content Conversations. How y'all doing this evening, this morning, whatever time of the day or night you watching? How y'all doing? I hope y'all doing wonderful and having a wonderful day, night, whatever. But yeah, y'all seen the poll. Y'all seen the poll. Y'all wanted it, so I gotta talk about it. We gotta talk about it. Toxicity. Toxicity. That is gonna be the topic of discussion on this week's topic of content conversation. And yeah, y'all, this might be a rough one, man. I don't got no tea, but I'm gonna be taking a lot of sips of this orange juice. So yeah, y'all, toxicity. I don't got no guests today, you know, y'all see where I'm at. I'm real cozy. I'm at the crib, at the casa. But yeah, y'all, I'm gonna try to keep cool on this conversation, but it's gonna get spicy for sure. Stay tuned. And we're back, YouTube. So yeah, y'all, toxicity, y'all. I know this discussion, everybody deals with it, everybody's been through it, everybody's, you know, trying to find a way out of it. Some of us are dealing with it internally, but toxicity, and I'm probably gonna mess up on that word a lot because it's kind of tongue twister, but toxicity is, it plays in a lot of roles, whether it's relationship, friendship, internally, externally. It's big, it's really big. It shouldn't be as big as it is, but nowadays generation it's like, it runs everything, and we're gonna find a way to shut it down, all right? So toxicity, what is toxicity? And y'all see when I got my computer, I got my notes and stuff. So what is toxicity? Toxicity is a quality or a trait that might be harmful to others, whether that be emotional, physical, or mental. So me personally, I define toxicity as, you know, relationship, platonic or non-platonic. Like, if you feel like something's not working between you and that other person, but you just can't seem to separate, or you just can't seem to get away from that person, or you just can't seem to have that person get away from you. So that's kind of what I kind of define it as. It's just a real, you know, drain on your, like I said, mental, physical abilities to do anything. It gets in the way of a lot. Toxic things gets in the way of almost everything, whether it's work, whether it's just day-to-day things. If you have that person that you feel like you just can't let go of because of, you know, your past or something y'all been through, that can get in the way of a lot. And, you know, closure plays in a big play of that, but I'm gonna try to keep this in order from the list that I have right here. So how do you identify toxicity? How would you say you identify toxicity as it relates to a person, or, you know, well, I guess just a person, because we're not really talking about animals and nothing like that. So how do you identify toxicity? Manipulation is a big key factor in toxicity. A lot of people try to, you know, manipulate and be very insincere when it comes to apologies, and kind of, you know, victimize themselves for the actions that they've created. And they also, you know, don't acknowledge their own actions. You got a lot of people that will, you know, like I said, make what I'm trying to say, like, they will make a problem, or they'll start a problem, and then they'll try to be the victim of the problem that they started. And in that, manipulating you into maybe apologizing for something that you didn't even start or you didn't even do. So knowing these type of identifications of toxicity right off the bat, this can give you some type of, you know, light bulb, like, hey, like maybe I need to watch out. You know, we like to use red flags now. That's a red flag for me. Maybe that could be your red flag when you see the manipulation, when you can see that them playing victim all the time, or you see that they do something wrong and they're very insincere with their apologies, or very insincere, just a very insincere person all around. So take note to those characteristics that person might have. And the next one is probably I would say the hardest one out of this list that I have, or question that I have, and is, how do I let go of a toxic person? Whew. Y'all, I am not a professional on this. I'm just here to talk with y'all. I'm here to vent with y'all. Y'all talk back to me. Y'all have some agreements. Y'all might have some disagreements. But y'all letting go of that person.
Go ahead, put your hands where you want to. Hit me. Hit me. Hit me.
We all done been through it. I don't care who you are. You done been through that toxic person that you just can't let go of. You probably still can't let go of them now. They probably sitting in the room with you right now with your AirPods on, and they probably watching TV and y'all mad at each other, but just can't separate. It's crazy. It is crazy, but it is possible. You can let go of that person and you can find peace. And these are some tips to help you find peace. Let them know how you feel. And in letting them know, you don't owe anyone an explanation for them being toxic towards you. You owe them the explanation. What you don't owe them, but you're giving the explanation or telling them how you feel for you. And that kind of comes into the closure I was talking about a few extra episodes back. You need that closure so you don't feel like you have to spin back or double back because you didn't get something off your chest, which that turns into a whole cycle of you basically backtracking and falling back. You don't want to fall back, so let them know off the bat how you feel, not for them, but for you. Forgive, but never forget. You should be a forgiving person. I know it's hard to forgive sometimes. It's very hard for me. As you can see, I just took a sip. If I take a sip, it's shade all around. But forgiveness is a hard thing to deal with because I see myself as a very, sincere person. So when I do apologize or when I do say something, it's sincere. Now, it's a lot of times where people will be like, I feel like you owed me that apology, and I didn't feel it myself. I probably wasn't right, but I didn't feel like I owed them an apology, so I felt like it wouldn't be sincere, so I never gave them that. But to not get off track, forgive but never forget. You should forgive the person because it's the right thing to do and it's a healing process for you, but never forget the place they put you in and that dark hole that they had you in, or that dark grip that they had you. You shouldn't want to go back to that, or like I was saying, falling back. So you should always remember what y'all went through, or what they put you through, or what maybe you put yourself through. Sometimes you got people that blame themselves, but always want to be that. You always want to be that forgiving person, but you never want to forget what you've been through, because that's what makes you stronger. Spend more time with positive people. And this goes out to all my introverts. I'm not an introvert myself, so I'm not claiming it. But if you are an introvert, I know you might say, Khalil, how am I going to spend time with people when I don't got no friends, or I don't do nothing, I don't go out? Find a group. There's better, I think it's like betterhelp.com. Just find somebody to talk to, even if you're not spending, physical time with them. Just a talk on the phone with a family member or something will help. You don't have to talk, and I don't recommend talking about that topic itself or the person itself, because after you let it go, you let it go. But just talk about stuff that makes you happy and makes you think about other things that's more positive than the toxicity that you have already been through. Another one is, and this is probably like the most important one, set hard boundaries with that person. So if you're telling that person like, hey, this is not gonna work, this is turning very toxic between me and you, I feel like we should not do this anymore. Like, I feel like we should spread our ways and like, you know, go our separate ways and don't fall back. If you stand on that, what you're saying, first of all, and second of all, be hard on the decisions that you make. Don't say this decision and then get drunk on the weekend and be like, oh, let me call her, let me call him. I know they gonna answer. Because that itself is toxic within. That's an inner toxic that's coming out of you. So don't let that toxicity win. By just respect those boundaries and set those boundaries, and when you set them, stand on everything that you said that you would stand on. But yeah, that one is kind of hard, y'all. Like, toxicity, when it comes to like letting the person go, letting that toxic person go, I don't want to say it's inevitable, but at the same time, it is very hard, very possible, very, very possible, because I've been through it and I've gotten through it. But it is hard once you get that connection with that person and, you know, you've been through a lot with them, because it kind of turns into something that you always think about. So those tips of, you know, hanging out with people, forgiving but never forgetting, let it all out, telling them everything. But when I say let it all out now, don't go burning his clothes, and don't you go keying her car, busting her windows.
Don't want peace. I want problems, always.
I mean, let it all out vocally, with words. And but still there is some power in the tongue as well, so you want to watch what you say. You know, sometimes you say things that you don't mean and you regret it, so, you know, be in a good mind state when you do have that conversation with that person and get that closure. Third on the list is, this for me and you. This me and you. We gotta accept it. We gotta accept it. How do I stop being toxic? I'm not toxic. You toxic. I'm not the problem. You're the problem. And if you think I'm the problem, then I guess we should just break up. My friend, how do you stop being toxic? How can you help yourself stop being toxic? Because little do you know, you play some factors into being toxic. Toxicity is not a one-sided thing because you allow it. Sometimes you cause it. But either way it goes, it's not one-sided. So how do I stop being toxic? Sincere apologies go a long way. Like I said, I don't apologize unless it's sincere. Even though if I feel like I shouldn't apologize, sometimes I should apologize, even if I feel like it's not going to be sincere or not, because sometimes you do owe that person the apology. But being sincere, and not only apologies, but in everything that you do, be sincere. You know, don't be that person that's shady or, you know, shallow or fake. Like, be real in what you do, because if you're not being real about it, then it's no point in even doing it. It's a waste of time. But assess yourself on a regular. That has helped me a lot. Taking a step back, not shutting down from the person, but taking a step back, processing your thoughts, thinking about what you're going to say before you say it, and then talking about it has weeded out a lot of arguments into well-needed conversations. Because when you just say how you feel when you feel it, it's not always going to be the best words coming out. Well, it's more than like 99.9 times it's not going to be the right thing that you need to say. So you want to assess yourself and actually, you know, sit down with yourself mentally and say, hey, maybe you shouldn't talk right now. Maybe it's not a good time right now. Maybe you should find the words that you need to say so they can actually hear you and it doesn't go in one ear and out the other. Retain constructive criticism. Y'all, this was my New Year's resolution for 2023, to not take everything so personally. When someone gives you constructive criticism, it's not always to go after you or they always feel like you're a horrible person or anything like that. they have the right to that criticism, or they have that right to their opinion. It's a difference when they're bashing you and they're just, you know, doing you wrong all the wrong ways or whatever. But that constructive criticism helps you build yourself as a better person. And it can actually help you realize, like, hey, I didn't realize I was doing that. I apologize. Like, thank you for telling me that. But when you don't retain that constructive criticism, you always take it offensively, then that just puts more gasoline on the fire. You know, like, it's not good. You want to retain that criticism. You want to actually be like, okay, you know, they're saying this for a reason. It's bothering them, and if I care about them, if I love them, and they're telling me something that's bothering them, that it's my actions, maybe it's not them just bashing me. Maybe it's me that actually needs to change. Respect boundaries. This kind of can go with how do I let go of a toxic person, but then again, we're talking about us right now. We're talking about me and you. Respect boundaries. I know how we love to talk about other people and how it'd be like, they just can't get away from me. They always calling me. He always calling me. She always calling me. And I just answer because I'm not a mean person.
Oh, brother.
Okay, right. Respect those boundaries. Don't put yourself in a position. Again, don't put yourself in a position to get out of body. Respect your boundaries and just leave it at that. If it's meant to happen, it'll happen again. Y'all will revisit, you know, y'all revisit that relationship or revisit the conversation needs to be had or whatever. But if y'all set boundaries, you as a person should respect them. If you can't respect somebody telling you, hey, let's not do this, you don't really care about that person. You can't really say that you love that person, because if you love them, you can love them enough to, you know, respect their wishes of going y'all separate ways. Deal with past traumas. Now, this personally, I feel like is my, this is like my worst thing to deal with, because you know, everybody has a past, and not everyone has a perfect relationship in their past. So sometimes I try to depict my relationship off of past relationships, whether that be, you know, trust issues or insecurities. I have to assess myself and be like, hey, this person didn't do this to you. That was the past. Though it hurt, you can't ever heal if you always try to put the blame on somebody for another toxic person. Like, that's why I said toxicity is heavy. It can really mess with your mental, like, holistically, like, for the rest of your life. Some people can really have like a piece of your heart locked up away, thrown into the ocean. Like, so, you know, deal with your past traumas, whether if you need therapy or you need to talk to somebody about it, but don't bring your past traumas, or don't trauma dump on the new relationship you're in or the relationship you've been in for years. Don't do that, because that makes the person feel worthless, and that makes the person feel like, well, if he's always going to have trust issues, or if she's always going to think I'm cheating because their other partner cheated on her, I guess it's nothing I can do. I'm at a loss for words. And you never want to be at that point where you're giving up on somebody, especially if you feel like that somebody is a good person. And lastly, be mindful of the words you speak. I spoke a little bit on this, saying there's power in the tongue, because there really is power in the tongue, you guys. Like, so be mindful of the words that you say. I'm very mindful of the, you know, stuff that I say, because of things people have said to me that I forgave them about, but I never forgot, because it really hurt my feelings. And you know, it may not, on the outside looking in, you know, it may not look like it hurt my feelings, because, you know, I put that all internally. But you want to be mindful of what you're saying, because you might get over it, or you might think you've gotten over it. A person might think they gotten over it. But what you say means a lot to a person when they really care about you. So you never want to diminish nobody's character, or say anything that you truly don't mean, or say something harmful to them and then go back and apologize and be like, baby, you know, I ain't mean that, you know, or, you know, I didn't mean that, sweetheart. I was just really mad, or, you know, I had this going on. I wasn't feeling good. So you don't, you know, because that person might be like, yeah, it's okay, but at the end of the day, that's always going to be in the back of their head, like, you really felt like this. Because me personally, if I say something to you, I watch my words heavy, like, because when I do say something to you, that's how I feel, and that I'm apologizing for what I said, but I meant what I said. So I try to watch the words that I speak, because I know words bring life to a lot. And we're talking about toxicity today. So the words that you speak and the doubling back that you do and that call that you take at 2 a.m. and the stuff y'all talk about then, that speaks, you know, a lot of toxicity into your life, and you don't need it. But yeah, y'all, that's all the notes that I have and all the, you know, the little key points. How do I identify? Now you know how you identify those key factors of victimization, manipulation, you know, not being sincere. How do you, you know, let go of a toxic person, set those boundaries, and stand on what you say? And lastly, how do I stop being so toxic? Just learn to work on yourself. You're not perfect. Everybody's not perfect. Hold on, I don't know what this is on my phone. All right, sorry, y'all. But yeah, just, you know, you have to tell yourself, like, I'm not perfect. I have problems too, so, and I need to work on them, and I will work on them. And in that, you know, find what you like and hold on to that thing. And if it's a person that you like, do what you can to stay with them. Do what you can to not be so toxic. Do what you can to not be so manipulative. Do what you can to, you know, just be in a positive mindset and just make them, uplift them, and don't bring them down, because it's enough stuff in this world that brings you down. You need somebody that you can hold up, be held up with, you know. But yeah, y'all, toxicity is crazy, it's inevitable, it's you and me. Nah, it's not us. But toxicity is crazy. Like, it is crazy, but it's, you know, we can achieve that healing, and we can achieve that positive mindset, and we can get away from that person, and we can find something new that makes us happy. But yeah, y'all, I appreciate all of y'all on this feedback, like the content conversation has, you know, changed my channel up a good bit. I was doing a lot of vlogs and stuff, like I said before, but you guys like this, and I really appreciate all the feedback that you give me, whether it's voting on polls or commenting under videos, or you text me personally or calling me and talking about it. You know, I appreciate that, because I like having these type of conversations that no one really has, or no one really knows how to, you know, maneuver through stuff like toxicity, stuff that they deal with every day. So, you know, I appreciate y'all for showing love and commenting, sharing, subscribing, you know, and just keep doing it. Keep supporting your boy, and I'll keep pushing out content every week. And who knows, your boy might start dropping 2 times a week. Who knows, it might be dropping 3 times a week. Before long, I'll be dropping every day, you know? But yeah, y'all, I appreciate y'all for all the love, and I will catch you guys on the next content conversations. It's your boy KvolioKlips, man, and I'm out.